YouTubers, and welcome to lesson number 4 of the PMDG 737NGX, where I'll be explaining all the major components of this aircraft. In this episode we're going to be going through the MCP, the mode control panel, which is basically the autopilot. So of course we will, if we go to the FMC and approach page, we will, because we're taking off from Oslo to Tenerife. Our course is 255, so in our descent we will put 255 in the course select box. Flight directors, we're the captain, so we're the pilot flying. If it's the first officer flying, we put his flight director on, so the green light is above. Auto throttle, so that's the auto throttle. We can, our speed, so if we go to our takeoff page, which is here, our V2 speed is 151, and in here we put our 151 plus 20, so it's our V2 speed plus 20, so it'll be 171 knots. Auto throttle on. VNav, vertical navigation. LNav, latitude navigation. So LNav controls where we go along the route basically, and VNav is where how fast and stuff we are climbing. So our top of climb point is there, so about 80 miles away from us now. So VNav will aim to get us to our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet at that point. So, and LNav will just follow the route around. Speed intervene. VNav controls the speed, so if we wanted to intervene with the speed, go faster or slower, we click speed intervene and manually select what speed we were going. Heading, so runway heading, we're taking off from runway 36, so it's about 300, it's about 0 actually, because that's about 360, so near enough around 360 degrees. So as you can see, our heading select is there, the runway heading is there, so roughly around there. VOR lock, we do that just before approach, and then approach button we click during our approach, and that will disarm VNav and LNav. Basically they're still on, but it will control its rate of descent plus latitude as well, so that controls them. Heading select button, we click that whenever we want heading select. Altitude, cruise altitude of 35,000 feet I think, or 37,000 feet was selected there, so we put that all the way up to 37,000 feet. Or if you're using ATC, which we aren't on this flight, they'd probably ask you to climb to 6,000 feet and then to 18,000 feet and then to 37,000 feet, but we're just going to click select 37,000 feet. Vertical speed, if we didn't want VNav engaged at the moment, we can select our vertical speed, so plus, and then descending we do minus, and that's in feet per minute. So if we selected it to 1,000 feet climb, we'd be climbing at 1,000 feet per minute, so it will roughly take about 37 minutes to get up there. Autopilots, autopilot A, autopilot B, so captain, first officer. Disengage button, so if we to engage that, you'd get an alarm, and to silence that alarm you just click the little button down there. Going over to here, let me just shift over. This isn't really part of the mode control panel, but it's quite important. We are European, so we switch that over to HPA. Terrain, this controls our navigation display, so terrain, so as you can see we've got quite a lot of hills over there. Position, data, so that's all the data of our thing, so we would get to Vatit at 12:17 if we depart now, and we'd get to Binro at 12:20 if we departed now. All other airports in the vicinity, so if we want to divert, we know it's good situation awareness as well. So that's for the airports. waypoints, all the waypoints that are near us. I'm not quite sure what that is. I think it's airbase is that one. I'll have to have a look at that. And also it's just the rings as well, so the 80 mile ring, 160 mile ring, 320 mile ring. Same for the first officer side as well. Now for the second part of this lesson we're going down to the lower pedestal, which is located down here. We've got our communication 1 and 2, so keying in all the frequencies for the radio. So say our departure frequency was that, and then we'd get handed over to another air traffic control, so we could key that in before departure, and then they'd ask us to go over to that. We could just click that and go straight over to there. Nav 1, Nav 2, Nav 1, Nav 2. So going back into the FMC, go to the approach page, it's on this one. Our ILS to runway 26 is 110.9, so we'd select that into here, and then when we start our descent we will put it into the active. Same for the first officer side as well. Transponder, before departure we turn that to TA and RA, and we've got no traffic on, but traffic will appear as little dots, so we can test that. Traffic would appear as little dots like this, and it will,
test, pass.
Yeah, it'll say if it passes or not. Lights for them, cockpit door locked, unlocked, deny entry, transponder, and then all this stuff doesn't really need to be, doesn't need doing actually for FSX. It's just nice to know what it is, but I'll explain them in another lesson. Going over to the thrust, fire tests for the engine's APU, cargo tests, parking brake obviously, thrust levers. So we haven't got a flap set to 5, so an alarm is going off telling us we haven't. Speed brake. So that is the speed brakes on the wing. We can get rid of them now. So they'll deploy upon landing. Flaps. So we'd set the flaps to 5, but if we'd select them for 30 or 40 for landing. And as you can see, the flaps are slowly increasing now, and they are used for extra lift on the wing. When we take off and land at slow speeds. It takes approximately 40 seconds to deploy them, and they'll start deploying now. Our trim is the vertical stabilizer, so here, so we set our trim for takeoff and landing. It will vary throughout the flight. Another test for fire. And that is basically it for the lower pedestal and MCP. So I do hope you have enjoyed watching today's lesson, and I hope to see you in episode number 5. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.